Hey YouTube, Shuken Shinobi here with a review of the S.H.Figuarts Silver Crow from Accel World. If you haven't checked out Accel World, it is an anime available on Hulu and Viz's website. I just watched it straight from Hulu, but it concluded last week actually with episode 24, so it's a good time to catch up if you haven't seen it yet. Very cool. Long story short, there is a game that certain people are allowed to play, and you get points, and you can use the points to accelerate or decelerate real life in order to do certain things and stuff. I won't get too far into it. Check out Wikipedia for a more detailed description. Very cool. One of my favorite animes of last summer. So I was particularly happy to see that was getting figure releases. This is the only announced Figuarts release for Accel World. However, Max Factory, the people over at Max Factory giving you Figmas, have announced their own Silver Crow, Black Lotus, Scarlet Rain. I think those are the only three currently announced, along with some exclusives, like you got the human version of Kuroyuki. So you got all sorts of different possibilities over there at the Figma folks. But in terms of Figuarts, this is all we got so far. So who knows what we're going to get. If anything, this might be it. But even if it's only it, I'm glad that we at least got Silver Crow. I might be picking up the Figmas. Depends on budget. Not sure yet. But if I do, you'll be sure that I'll be reviewing them at some point or another. So very cool. We got a nice metallic-y box with the hexagon pattern in there. Silver Crow. Lots of shots of the figure as opposed to the actual model. Molding effect parts. Movable. It's a Figuart. I'd hope it's movable. But pretty cool box. And a pretty cool figure. One thing you might notice compared to the Figma is the fact that a lot more joints are visible. You've got really thick thighs. I'm not sure if they're actually supposed to be this thick. But they're there for sure. Along with the ab crunch, which isn't bad. The Figma actually doesn't look like it particularly has an ab crunch. I'm sure it does. It's just hidden somewhere. But then you got a double joint right there. Swivel at the hands. Double joint down there. Typical Figuarts diecast feet, mind you. Style joint. The shoulder pads do not get in the way. 100%. 360 movement. Same with the head. I think the visor could have been done a little bit better. It looks very flat to me. Under certain light conditions, you get a nice little gloss to it. But it looks very flat to me. And I guess I'm so used to the compound eyes on Kamen Riders that this looks kind of off to me in terms of Figuarts. But it's still not bad, and it is accurate to the show. His face really is non-existent. But there's reasons for that, mind you. But pretty nice figure overall. Again, the thighs just seem really thick. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be like that, but I don't know. It looks like, it kind of looks like when you wear pants and you shove like a DS and a phone and a really thick wallet in your pants, and they just get really bulgy. Kind of looks like that. But there it is from the back. Lots of holes for various things. Actually, that was actually something I wanted to comment on. There's a hole right here for the Tamashii Stage, which I think is a nice touch. If you pull this off of the Tamashii Stage, this actually can plug right in. So they went the way of the Figma and actually just put a hole in the figure, which I don't mind. I don't look at my figures from the back, so a hole being there doesn't bother me any. And if I'm using a Tamashii Stage, it's much easier to pose a stage with a peg in the back as opposed to those little grippy things. So I do have to give them props for finally doing that. I might actually use a stage for this guy. So very cool, very cool release. So obviously he comes with a Tamashii Stage. This isn't one I just plucked from my collection. He actually did come with a Tamashii Stage, which is nice. I wish it said Silver Crow or something on it. I mean, if you're going to give me a Tamashii Stage with a figure, at least make it special. But the fact that it comes with one's nice, I guess. 2 wings. I'll just show off one because they're the same exact thing. This side's full-on gloss, while this side has all the etched-in details on it. So, very cool. I don't particularly like the way the joints work They're kind of intricate and weird, but still pretty cool. Not really sure which one's actually supposed to be which, but that's fine. Hands, you have Karate Chop Hands or Stabby Hands, since he can do that. Kind of loose grip hands, I guess, to call them. Not really sure what you want to call them. Relaxed, kind of pose hands, but he doesn't really pose, but for lack of a better term. And then splayed open, death grip, force choke hands, because that's how it works. Plus you have, obviously from the back of the box, effect parts. You have, well, this isn't really an effect part, but when he goes and does like the punches that have the, like the burst effect on it, the gauntlet always opens up to release his energy. So you got that. You have one that is open even further and radiating energy out of the back, which is pretty cool. You have a energy-filled punch. Judging by the fact that the thumb's right here, this is for the right hand. In fact, both of these are for the right hand. Actually, this one might be for the left hand. No, it could go. I think this one can go either way. The details are too thin to really notice. And a kind of like a sword piercing energy effect. So that's pretty nice as well. So as you can see, the wings do look very cool on the figure. As far as moving the wings, you do have a hinge right there that can go as far down as that and as far up as that if you work all of the joints. Plus you have a flap going this way. If for some reason you need to, it does rotate a little bit, but it works off some sort of like hexagonal peg, so I wouldn't do that too much or you might strip it. This should give you plenty of motion, so I don't see why you need to really do any further than that. Standing the figure with the wings is a pain and near impossible, so I do recommend using the Tamashii Stage for once in my life. If you want to get a good pose going, like I said before, you just stick it in the back here, and there you go. It's a lot easier to maneuver. There we go, and it just works a lot better, I think. So yeah. So this is an awesome figure. Now, like I said, at the time of this recording, I'm not sure what the Figma is going to include, how poseable the Figma is going to be, and just overall the comparison between the two. You just don't know yet. The Figma was delayed until October, so we have to wait even longer, maybe, providing it even gets released in October. So it'll be a while before we get actual good comparisons, but if you're a very casual fan of Accel World, then by all means pick this up. I mean, you get poses like this, and I just think that looks really neat. The boost effect parts in particular look absolutely stellar on this figure. It's one of the things I'm not entirely sure going to be in the Figma, but it's one thing I'm really glad that the Figuart decided to do. Just looks really great in person. The gradient detailing in these are absolutely phenomenal, as they have been recently. And it's just a very, like I said, I'm not sure about the thigh thing entirely. I would need to compare the animation model, because you don't really notice it too much on the box art. But besides the whole thigh thing, I think it looks really accurate, a tad bit bulky, but still very accurate to the cartoon model. And it just, the wings, man, the wings. I do have to say, I'm very glad that they decided to do the whole and back system for this release. Being able to plug it in Tamashii Stage without having the annoying little grippies is great. I love it. And like I said, these boost parts just make a very excellent display piece. Granted, some people might want a little more traditional looking display, while others might want something just a little bit more action-y. If they don't release any more of the Figuarts, I will be collecting the Figmas. I will review them. One Silver Crow can be winged and one cannot be winged, I guess, whatever. Yay, displays and stuff. But very cool release. Like I said, if you're a casual Accel World fan, you only want Silver Crow, this is an absolutely fantastic release if you don't want to wait for the Figma. If you want to be more of a completist, obviously you might want to pick up the Figmas because they're guaranteed to at least have 2 more of the main characters, whereas the Figuarts have none released. And considering how poorly Silver Crow did in the pre-orders, if there are any more Figuarts made, they will definitely be exclusives, I think. It's particularly because the show ended the season 1. If they do make any more seasons, series 1 ended already. So, it's more than likely going to be an exclusive release. But regardless, very cool figure. If you're a fan, definitely pick it up. So you can check out shurikenshinobi.com for latest updates on my reviews and hauls. And of course, check out writersnewsrambles.com, the podcast bringing the latest tokusatsu news in the craziest way possible. So take care and have a great one. Bye.